Well, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? So, anyways, how was your weekend?
Busy, good.
You drove to Arizona.
Yeah.
You bombed it back last night.
Yeah.
Got back late.
Yeah.
But you're here.
But I'm here.
All right, good.
Because I love it. How was yours?
Great.
Okay.
It was okay.
Good.
It wasn't great. But I went through all of this material, and was putting it all together, and all I thought about was you. And I thought about, really, there's a lot of stuff that can really help clean out our closet and become more effective, but every time we would hit on one of these points, it was you. So and maybe I'm wrong, but we'll see.
Are you guys noticing like a slight chuckle in his voice?
Well,
so I'm really nervous.
You know what I'm saying.
This could be embarrassing.
You know what I'm saying. Good morning, Mike Duffy. So, it's definitely going to be interesting. So,
okay.
Are you ready to roll?
Yeah.
Okay. So, the first thing that's the new chapter was motivating yourself into action, right? So obviously it just keeps sounding, every time I listen to one of these chapters, it sounds like, the chapter head, it sounds like it's going to be like the same thing that we've heard a million times, but it's not.
Okay.
So it's actually even more interesting. And this one starts out by saying that you have to be your own cheerleader. And you have to develop a routine of coaching yourself and encouraging yourself to play at the top of your game. And it's funny because as independent contractors, and as I look out just at the people that are here, everybody from Duffy to Janie to Kim England to all of us, it's like nobody's patting us on the back, really.
Yeah.
Nobody's like telling you to go get it. You don't have a boss. We're all just so independent that you really do have to wear all these hats.
Yeah.
And I think being your own cheerleader is kind of a big one.
It is, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, I mean, because a lot of times even the spouses or significant others or whatever, they're not even quite as supportive, especially, when you're first getting into the real estate business. I know like the first year is so tough. There's so many spouses or significant others that are trying to talk their significant other to getting out of the business. Have you seen that?
Yes.
And so not only do you have to do your own self-talk, but you got to block out some of the other people on the outside, then continue to be your cheerleader and all that sort of stuff. So, but I have seen that many, many times where
they just don't understand it yet. And I think it's so new and it's so hard because they've just paid all this money for the board and everything, and they're like, well, you're still paying money, you don't have a deal yet, but it will come.
Oh, for sure.
It will come.
As long as you're doing the right things, right?
Yes.
So, so it just spent a little bit of time talking about, your self-talk, which we always, what things do you tell yourself? And it's interesting because what things do you tell yourself? And, when do you get discouraged? Do you stay positive? And it's just funny because as things happen to you in the real estate business or in any sales business or in life in general, you can look at that situation and determine if you're going to motivate or demotivate yourself based on that event that's happening. And I've seen people, I've seen some super top producers that have 10 deals going on, and then something comes in and it causes a problem in one deal that falls, and they're completely destroyed. And their day is done and they're toast, yet they got 9 other deals to go. But the question is, when that one little thing comes in, does it motivate you, demotivate you? And it's based on how you visualize the situation. Does it energize you? Does it de-energize you? So, kind of cool. But it starts talking about how we need to create a mindset where we stay a eternal and complete optimist, right? And not that pessimist. Because those of you guys that are out of the Marietta office, that have been around for a while, you remember some of the people that were in that office that we had to run and hide from. We used to call them Eeyores from Winnie the Pooh. And those are the people that are the complete opposite. They're the eternal pessimist.
But the best is they don't know they're the pessimist. Like Jen and I put this thing on our door, and she had no clue. It was all about positive vibes only in here. And she's like, right, only right. It's so funny.
You're like, it's you.
It's you.
Yeah. So, I mean, and those are the people oftentimes that we do have to avoid. And like I said, I've been right in the middle of conversations and just turned right around and walked away. And I have.
That's good.
And you know what? I used that fake caller thing I showed you. You know what I mean? Where all of a sudden, hey, my son's calling, I got to go. But it really is about us staying eternal optimists for ourselves.
Yeah, to protect yourself.
Right. And responding positively to words and actions and reactions, and the situations that go on around us. And I was thinking, okay, well, that sounds really cool, but this actually gives you some concrete examples of how you can do that.
Oh, that's what we need. Examples.
Examples. And they're a little funky, but they probably work.
Funky.
So it just says that, you just, and I don't know, you almost have to fake it till you make it too. That's one of the things that it says is at all times, and I'm jumping way ahead of where this is at, but at all times when somebody asks you how you're doing, say a positive answer. Like you asked me, how's my weekend? I was like, well, it was kind of rough, but at the same time, I could have said it was great. You know what I mean? And if you say positive things, then it starts to just ingrain in you. So everything you do, you stay positive.
Okay, I have to interject.
Okay, go ahead.
Yes, but I think it's okay to be genuine. You have to, when I literally am asking you, how are you? And when these other people ask, how we really want to know.
Yeah.
But how you say, you can flip it, hey, it was rough, but you know what? It's all right. It's going to be all right. And that's what you did.
Yeah.
Because wouldn't you rather us be genuine? Right?
I know. And that's, and I remember on these calls, and I thought this was interesting, guys. It's like, and I'm getting off subject a little bit, but some people have called us and, or text you or whatever after some of these things. And it seems to be sometimes when you talk about those things that are taboo, when you talk about the hard things that we deal with, when you talk about the tough things that go on in your life, people are drawn to that.
They can relate.
And it doesn't necessarily have to come across as a negative thing. And it doesn't have to be like, oh my God, this happened, or whatever. But I mean, as long as you can put a positive spin on it. But it does seem that when you are more real and you are more authentic, people appreciate that. So you're right. I will give you that one, and I agree. Thank you for correcting me. You're right. So so don't let daily difficulties and setbacks affect your mood and emotions. And you've seen, even with me, with some of the stuff like family-wise that's gone on, my day is shot. You know what I mean? And I've had to leave. Or certain things that go on.
And so, that's okay.
Yeah, I know.
That's okay.
But it's like, it just can rock you. It's just too bad that we can't stay strong. So it talks about your inner dialogue and your level. And this is what I think almost every single counselor or therapist or whatever always talks about is your inner dialogue, but your level of self-esteem, how you feel about you. All right, and I think we all have issues with that. Once in a while, you look in the mirror and go, "My God, who is that person?" You guys doing that? Anybody that's like over 40 now is looking in the mirror, going like, "Who are you?" Or you see your friends on Facebook and they look like they're 90 years old, and you realize they're the same age as you.
I know.
And you're like, "What in the hell is going on
really
here?"
Quick?
Yeah.
So I'm getting my hair done yesterday at the salon. My daughter's doing it. So I have no makeup on, nothing. And I swear to God, she was doing it. I'm like, I just keep seeing my mother. Oh my God, what the hell? When did this literally happen? Like, it happened over COVID. I'm blaming COVID.
You think it's COVID? So you've been drinking the night before and had no makeup on, and then you saw your mother. Is that what happened?
Well played, sir.
Am I right?
Well played.
Yeah. Okay.
Well played.
All right. So, but it does come down to your level of self-esteem too, like your optimism and getting yourself into action, and your respect for yourself really controls your motivation and your persistence. Is kind of what it was talking about. And I'm wanting to move through this section because there's some stuff coming up. I'm super excited about it. But and here's the exercise that it says to say. And I don't know. Tell me what you think of this.
Okay.
It says, say this. You ready?
Okay.
I like myself.
I like myself.
I like myself.
I like myself.
And it just has you stand there and look in front of a mirror and talk about how much you like yourself.
Yes.
It's interesting. I don't know. It almost seems like
just
weird.
Say it. Everyone say it to yourself.
I like myself.
See, and you smile.
Well,
say it, everyone.
Yeah, but then I look like a narcissist. I think you're supposed to say it inside your head. Hey, everyone, I like myself.
Hello.
But you're supposed to say it over and over until you believe it. And then behave like a person with that high performance personality. So it kind of ties in the two. But if you don't feel good about your self-esteem or the way you look or the way your attitude or the things that come out of your mouth or whatever, it just continually comes back to the same Sonia conversation, actually, which is, if you don't feel good about yourself, your life you're in trouble.
Exactly. And it goes back to one of the 101 exercises for the soul. Just find that one thing that you like about yourself. It's okay, that one thing. Or bless those chubby legs. Thank you, Lord, for those chubby legs, because they're getting me around, Right? Don't find the one little thing.
That's funny.
And it's all okay.
You know what? And that's a change from when we started this, because you used to complain about that kind of stuff.
Yes, I did.
So it talked about, feelings of fear and doubt continually, and if that happens, and I think we all have that, you get worried about it could be anything, going to the gym, getting up that morning, and the next thing it says is to say, I can do it, I can do it, I can do it, I can do it. It's almost like you want to be looking at your maybe your goals or your plan for the day or whatever, saying I can do it, I can do it.
I think that's huge.
And that makes sense. It's just so strange, because it just, whenever I think of that, I think of all these people that just sit around and chant and, but I guess it's not strange. It's just, it's what you do.
That's not at all. Or I'm not tired. I'm not tired.
Right.
You know, you almost know what's working out. I'm not tired. I'm not tired.
I can do this.
I can do this.
And that's something that I want to give you credit for. And I'd like to say that most of the people on this call, when I'm looking out at everybody too, it says, you know, no matter how you feel, when somebody asks you how you're doing, you can always say, I'm doing good. Because no matter what, we're all still eating. You have a cute outfit on. You have nice shoes. I mean, we're all still doing fine. But the more you say that, you know, but sometimes that's not always the case. You know, like I used to always say when we'd walk through the offices, I would ask 2 questions, and I would come up to you and I'd say, so how are you doing? And they'd say, I'm doing fine. And then I'd say, no, Jenny, how are you really doing? And then you're going to get a different answer. You know, and that goes for your clients too, you know, or your friends or your family, you know, even your kids, just to say, how are you doing? I'm doing fine. How are you really doing? Because they say that when you ask a kid, like even up to the age of like 4 years old, they're already trained. Hi, how are you, Johnny? I'm doing good. They're automatically trained to do that, even though that might not be the case, which they say is good and bad. But we have to remain cheerful and upbeat at all times is what is part of this thing. And I agree. And I think we're all pretty good at that, especially all the people on this call.
I agree. Totally. They know how to flip it. They know to be like, okay, I'm okay.
People can be having the deals from hell going on, and you ask them, and as long as they stay cheerful and upbeat, and you can tell people like Janie, you know what I mean? She's always upbeat, even if she's probably taking a beating, you know? And I thought this was interesting too. And you kind of said it's okay to share your emotions and feelings and stuff. But this was kind of a sad thing. It says, you know, refuse to complain about your problems to people and learn to try to keep some of them to yourself. Okay, learn to try. And I thought, oh, well, that's interesting. And here's why. It says,
I'm listening.
Don't share your problems with others because it's all about the 80-20 rule. 80% of them don't care. And the other 20% are happy you have problems.
Oh, amen. That's
the 80-20.
Not true.
80's like, I don't give a shit, Denny. And the other 20 is like, oh, well, that's too bad. Guess life ain't so perfect for you, is it?
I know, and then they go tell everyone else.
Right.
So I think
they go tell everyone else.
It's more about know who you're talking to, know who's asking, know their intent.
Right.
Know their intent.
Yes.
And then you know if it's important. And sometimes, hey, you just got, if you feel like sharing because you need to vent it out, that's okay, and then you can get it out and move on and be happy and go
It is
on.
interesting though, because like I call my stepdad or whatever, and he literally talks about his back for probably like 30 or 40 minutes straight. You know what I mean? And I'm just kidding because I know he's watching. But no, I'm just saying but a lot of times you'll call people and they're like, my sciatic or this or that. And next thing you know, you become that 80%. You're like, oh my God, you know what I mean? And he's probably listening, so he's going to be like, what? I'm never telling him anything again.
Don't ask. If you don't want to know, don't ask.
I know. But so I thought that was interesting. But
that is really interesting.
There was a study done at the University of Pennsylvania, Wharton School, and it said that optimism is the most important quality you can develop for personal and professional success. So being optimistic, being cheerful, being upbeat, you know, is the thing that actually differentiates and creates success more than anything else. I'm sure that you have to have a plan and all that stuff, but it says that optimism brings a level of success to all of the areas of your life. You know, whether it's, you know, you're probably more likely to work out. You're probably going to take better care of your finances, your relationships, like everything. You know, just being optimistic. Because I'll tell you what, when you're in a relationship and somebody's negative, you know what I mean?
You can't.
Right, Adam? No, I'm just kidding.
And if
Why are you shaking your head?
I'm not.
Nance, if you're watching.
I'm not shaking my head, Nance. You're gonna get me in so much trouble, Chuck.
Sorry, man. I had to do it. I saw you. You got to do what Michael does and hide behind the TV. Then he doesn't get picked on.
No one gets to know.
So
you think of if you build it, they will come. You know,
Sure.
go back to the movie, and it's true. You put it out there, and it's going to happen. Mindset.
It's true. So here's cool. They said that there's 4 behaviors that are attached to optimism.
Why does this cause me anxiety right there?
Well, you're already optimistic. You're going to be fine. All right. But maybe this will help. So if optimism has 4 behaviors, you know, of staying positive and cheerful and upbeat, here's number 1. They look for the good in every situation. And I think that also comes with age. Because like we've talked about, like the older you get, the more you start to realize that the hard times are going to produce something good. So number 1, look for the good in every situation. And that, what I just said, ties into number 2, seek the valuable lesson in every setback or difficulty. You know, we talked about this last time. You're never starting over. You know, you're always starting from a place of experience. And, you know, I mean, it's not like we're going back to the broke-ass 22-year-olds that we were. You know, you're starting over, you know, with more knowledge.
Yeah.
So so number 1, look for good in every situation. Number 2, look for the valuable lessons in the difficulties. Number 3, always look for a solution to every problem instead of blaming and complaining. So many people will come to us and they'll, you know, you could be complaining about anything in the company or whatever, but if they would come in and say, you know what you should think about doing that might work better, You know, and when my dad, you know, he was running a big facility, and he could never stand when people came and complained to him. They wanted him to come in, tell them the problem, but then give a solution of how to fix it. You know what I mean? As opposed to just coming in and complaining. So I thought that was significant.
Yes.
Look for a solution to every problem instead of blaming and complaining.
Yes.
And the last one is they think and talk continually about their goals. Optimists do. You know, and you've done that. You told me what you weigh. You told me what you want to weigh, right?
You are such a...
Would you like to know what it was? You did, though. You
Jenny
did.
is really positive, though, anyway.
Oh, Jenny is positive.
I have an impression of Jenny, and you know she's positive by my impression. My impression of Jenny is so good. So good. She's always like, so good.
I would agree with that one. So, yeah, but, you know, just talk continually about your goals and what you want to do.
I like it.
And they also talk about what they want and how they're going to get it, which I like that. Another thing, and he should have had more because I thought this was a good piece. This was kind of in the summary piece of this chapter, is they talk about their future, not their past. Optimists talk about their future, not their past. So that being the case, you know, they don't go back to their childhood and do this and do that. They're like, no, okay, here I am. Where am I going? And I agree. I think that's a big one too.
I think that's huge.
That's a big one. But that's the hard part about like going and talk to counselors and stuff. I think they want to take you back. Like, so Jenny, did Daddy give you enough hugs? And you're like, what?
I know.
You know what I mean? So,
but that's different. That's different. That's not with your friends. That's not with. Yeah, it's not. You know, that's different. You're going to do healing work in those situations.
Correct.
I think.
Correct.
What's his name? Brian
Tracy. Yeah.
He's more about our day to day. You know.
For sure. You know, and again, Brian Tracy, the guy that wrote this book, this is the dude that Anthony Robbins started out with, you know, that trained
so
Anthony
cool.
Robbins. Like, this is the original founder of kind of like success motivation, you know what I mean? So, but I see you on there, Sonia, and you're being awfully quiet. So do you have anything that you would like to add before we move on from the Optimism/action chapter?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Absolutely.
What you got?
It's interesting because, well, I'm taking another class through the Yale, and it's regarding happiness. And
God, I need to take that.
optimistic and all of that has a lot to do with it. But there's one thing that is causing us to have more challenges in that area, and it's called social media.
Oh,
The reason being is that we can.
You're breaking up a little bit, Sonia. But it's okay. Keep going.
Okay. The reason being is when we go on social media, we see everybody is doing the perfect thing. They don't put on real life there, and we begin to compare ourselves to it. And they've done studies after studies, and they had all these graphs showing how social media can be more of a downer than an upper for people.
It's funny you say that, Sonia, because the next section right now that we're moving on to, which I told you I was thinking of you, Jenny, is social media. And that's actually what we're moving on to right now.
Okay.
So it's funny, you're calling it out, Sonia, for sure. And here is chapter 15, and here's the name of it. Technology is a terrible master. Is the name of it. And I thought, you know, I had to go back, Sonia, and I had to look at when this book was written, because I wanted to know if it was pre-social media or whatever. And luckily it was 3 years ago, and it does tie social media into this book. So, and we're going to be touching on exactly those things that you're talking about. But in terms of technology, though, for these purposes, I also want you to be thinking about your computer, the MLS, your email, social media, you know, all instant messaging, like everything that, when I say technology, I'm talking about the whole ball of wax. So Gandhi said, you know, and computers and automation and all that stuff, you know, there's more to life than just increasing its speed, is what Gandhi says, right? And that's kind of where this starts to tie in is, and here's what I think Sonia was hitting at too, is to stay calm and clear-headed and capable of performing at your best, we need to detach regularly from technology that overwhelms you. So, you know, whether it's hiking or you know, whatever it may be that you can get away from the daily grind of being at kind of the will of technology, which we're going to talk more and more about, it just says you need the ability to unplug. And it's like one guy they interviewed, he manages a $600 billion fund. He's never been on social media. He doesn't use any technology tools. And they did a study on some of the most successful people and found that when you don't use technology, your memory improves, you have deeper relationships, you sleep better, and better life transforming decisions. And part of it is, think about this, like, how much stuff do you not need to remember now because you have Google?
Oh my God.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't remember, like, hey, who was the quarterback of the Rams back in, well, let me pull it up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or arguing with a friend, let me pull it up. You know, so really your memory and your brain doesn't have to have the same power that it used to have.
That is crazy.
And I'm going to tell a story right out of the gate because I'm going to refer back to it a few times. But I'll come back. But it just says that, it just becomes destructive. And it becomes an addiction, because I don't know about you guys, but how many of you guys, when you wake up in the morning, do you immediately reach your hand right over onto the nightstand and pick up your phone and immediately look at it?
Shake your heads.
How many of you guys
heads.
are doing that? I see Duffy and Amber. And so the reason that we're doing that is because it's a form of a drug.
Yeah, totally.
And basically, having a notification or somebody reaching out to you or somebody needing you or somebody wanting you, it's that little shot of dopamine. And so you wake up in the morning, you automatically get that little shot of dopamine by somebody texted me or somebody called me or somebody emailed me or there's something I got to do. And so, and also before you go to bed, the last thing a lot of people do is they'll take their iPad or their phone and they'll set it down, charge it, yet what's the first thing you do when you open your eyes in the morning? Pull it back up. And remember how you were telling me that you feel like you are on social media too much?
Yeah, totally.
So that's where I was thinking this
100%
starts to apply. So if we're looking at it the last thing before we go to bed and we're waking up for the first thing we do in the morning and then checking it all day, people do it before they get a drink of water, before they brush their teeth. And the other thing that's really scary, and I did this morning just to check myself, is if you actually went back and pulled up your guys' screens and checked your average screen time.
No. It's horrifying. It is so horrifying.
Average? And I turned it on this morning. So if you just, pull down the menu and type in screen time, you can turn it on and you can start tracking it.
Don't do it.
But and I like what Sonia said. You're looking at all these perfect lives and all these perfect things. And
exactly.
It's not necessarily good for you.
No, it's not. And comparison is the thief of joy every time. Just be so thankful.
Comparison is the thief of joy. Look at Socrates over here.
One of my trainers said that to me. I'm sure she's.
No, don't give her credit. Take it. You did that. You came up with that.
Did you know that GPS actually affects our brains too, our hippocampus? It affects our ability to remember directions, and that ultimately affects our memory.
You don't even need to.
Yeah.
Sometimes I know how to get to my mom's and I'll turn it on anyway just to check traffic and I'm already on the road.
I use my GPS to get home and I'm right down the street.
You live a mile from here. That's pretty funny. So the question is, what's your average screen time? And I'll never forget, it was about 6-7 years ago, my son's football team came over to my house and I was going to make dinner and I had just met a lot of them and they all sat in the couch and in the living room and all that sort of stuff, and every single one of them had their heads down on their phone. No one was talking at all. And I pulled Trevor aside and I said, Trevor, what the hell is going on here? Like, why are all these guys on their phones? I said, half of them, more than half haven't even come up and introduced themselves to me or said, thanks for having me, anything. And they said, that's kind of like the nature of the world now, and they said, and like, he goes, Dad, for me, he said, you always taught me whenever I see somebody, shake their hand, look them in the eye, say, it's nice to meet you, repeat their name. He said, but in this world now, he said, they're in their phones because it's security.
Yeah, it's their crutch.
It's safe and I can look at it and, and like do this, and get that. And he actually brought up the dopamine thing back then too. It's like you get that shot and it's my security blanket, and it's kind of brutal on how that works. Yeah, the same thing on college campuses. Amber's saying, it really is everywhere. And there was another thing. Brian Tracy said that he was at like this big men's retreat, but it was kind of like it was for executives and everybody was very busy. And he said that the guy got up before dinner. One of the guys got up and he gave, a prayer, and, he was going to town, on the prayer and all this different stuff. And even Brian Tracy was like, wow, that was really moving, and then when it was done, he said he kind of looked at his table and everybody like still had their head down. He goes, wow, these guys are like in deep thought and deep prayer, this is really cool. They're really expanding on this. And then he looked even harder and realized that they had their phones down there and they were texting and emailing as fast as they possibly could, and it's like, geez, our phones have taken the place of prayer.
And that's not good.
I know.
Take 30 seconds and put it down and be in the moment.
Well, but busy people and the dopamine and getting things done, and you also get crap. It's like, hey, I text you and you don't text me back.
True.
You know what I mean? Hey, and your red receipts are on. I saw you read it, Jenny. Why didn't you get back to me? It's tough.
Well, first of all, you take that off.
Take off the red receipts. That's true.
Right.
So and then it kind of got back to cruising around on social media can be a waste of your life, truly. I mean, if you're doing it in real estate or in sales for business and stuff, that's cool. Going on to Amazon, and wandering around for hours thinking like, reading reviews or doing whatever. It's like a hobby waste of time, but it kind of goes back to it's getting in the way of the frogs that you need to eat because all it does is takes your eye off the ball.
Yep.
I can't wait for I want you to turn in your screen time. I have to know.
Well, what's great is I was on the road for 7 hours yesterday, so that I had not. So yesterday was great.
That's so funny. That's funny. So
sure, I'll show you.
So all those things. No, at some point. No, I think we should start tracking it. So.
But
me too.
Yeah, I was going to say, you show me yours, I'll show you mine, type of thing.
All right. So
post all your guys's too. I think they should have posted it.
So it just causes kind of an avalanche of stress. So one of the other things that talked about is your emails and how problematic all of our emails are, and that we probably should be using. And like I've had my account since I was like, I don't know, probably 17, 18 years old. So when you check your emails, my question to you guys.
Sexy whitehead at yahoo.com.
My question is, when you go on your emails, though, how many junk emails do you guys have? How many emails do you have that are just
email addresses?
Spams and crap? No, coming into your email accounts, like your major emails. And his suggestion is kind of the same thing. It's to eliminate 80% of that email by unsubscribing. And for most of us, it would take a day just to unsubscribe to all the emails we get. But it goes back, and he basically says only 4% of those emails actually matter. Of all the emails you get, only 3 to 4% matter. And that's kind of why I like my Coldwell Banker ABR email. Because my Coldwell Banker AB email is just business. Yeah. My North Star Seminars is just business. Right. And then you go into your personal sometimes, and there's just a billion different things in there, and we need to clean that out. Yeah. And I thought it was funny because it went back to cleaning your desk before you need to do your prospecting tasks. And it says that you should be doing that on your monitors. Like when you sit in your computer, like when I'm sitting here and I'm going to do prospecting, you have your phone out, you got your social media out, you got your cards that you're going to be writing, but it's the same thing with your computer. If you have a bunch of different stuff open, it's just as distracting as you trying to get those things done as having a desk cluttered up with stuff. So, and even with all the apps on your phone and everything, you really can clean and simplify your life by deleting apps, by unsubscribing to emails, by closing programs to where you can be more efficient and effective at a level, what are we looking at the most? I'm looking at my computer right now. All of you guys are. I see you working while you're doing it. And there's distractions there. So I thought that was pretty cool.
That's powerful.
The other thing was that, and obviously I hate emails. I hate emails. Margaret, she's like, did you see my email? And she just sent it like the minute before.
I know.
And I'm like, no, I don't check my emails. The only freaking dinosaurs check their emails. But I know that the world still operates on emails. So basically what he suggests is, he said that constantly checking your emails all day is one of the things that sucks the life out of you and makes it so that you never finish projects. So what you need to do, because you can be right in the middle of a project and then get an email notification for one of your clients or one of your deals, and what do? You go right over and you start working on that, or recruit, whatever. Instead of, his suggestion is, check your emails twice a day.
No.
I'm just telling you, and you can disagree, and I agree.
Because the fires that realtors have to put out, title people have to put out, that I don't think.
I know. I'm just going to tell you what he's saying, though.
Did anybody else have a total breakdown at that?
Well, he says check it at 11 a.m. and check it at 3:30 p.m. And he also says put an autoresponder so that anytime anyone emails you, an autoresponder goes directly back to them and says, thank you for your email. I check my emails twice daily, and I will be back to you shortly. He's just saying. Now take into account.
You're maybe right.
Take into account he's not from the all 100% independent contractor world like we are.
Okay, thank you.
So yes. For us, for everybody on this call, you're a real estate agent. You're the CEO. You're an accountant. You're the marketing director. You're an Uber driver. Okay. You are a door unlocker. Yeah. All right. You are a MLS scourer. Every single role that exists in the business world, you guys are by yourself. You are all of those hats. So therefore, the amount of information and emails and contacts and notifications, you're a therapist, that is correct. We're all these different things. And we have to be our own coach, and we have to be our own cheerleader, and all those things. So really, it's just trying to find that balance in your time and in your life to really make sure you're getting stuff done. And I need to do better at that too. But I thought that was interesting. The autoresponder is interesting. Well, even if you said I only check my email 3 times a day.
That helps a little bit, but and maybe
10, 1, and 4.
Also, I just go back to the short sell days. That was the only way we communicated with the banks. That was it. So
and if you don't get right back to them, they lose their shit.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I was just going old school.
I know.
Also, I'm a dinosaur.
No,
There you
you're
go.
not a dinosaur. You're
People
not.
just text me. If you need me, text me. Don't email. Right? Call.
That's
just,
what I always
just
say, too.
Just text me.
That's what I would say too.
That's
But-
what you need to
is
tell your
not,
agents.
Margaret is not going to like getting an auto response email.
Oh, you know what? I wonder if you can put one on just for her. I wonder if I could just.
No, please don't.
It'd be funny.
Please don't.
Margaret, what did we talk about?
No.
That's what I was going to say.
And then, okay, I can see Trevor's face, but Kim doesn't have her camera on. I'm sure they're all agreeing, like, that is not a good idea
All right,
for
fine,
you.
fine. All right. So, but the other thing is, by not being on social media all the time, you guys know what FOMO is, right?
It's what
We
I do
all
every day.
get. You have it all the time. You know,
Every
we all get
moment.
FOMO, right? Fear of missing out. And so by not being on, you're like, what do you mean? What happened? What's going on?
Oh,
What,
yeah.
did you see so-and-so?
Yeah.
What do you mean you found that out before
Yeah.
me? And then they lose their get crazy. And, like, so really, the fear of missing out or things happening that you are not aware of is another reason that people like to jump on. And, what Tracy says is if it's important, someone will tell you.
It's true.
Someone will tell you. Let one of the other people that are wasting their lives on social media let you know that, this happened at the White House today, or whatever, whatever. I'm just saying,
I
like,
feel attacked.
you feel attacked. I know.
I just use you, though.
Well-
He keeps us in the know.
Adam, I know. Well, he comes in with the worthless stuff, though. I want, like, good stuff. I'm just kidding. But, if it's important, someone will tell you. And that's hard. When's the last time you watched the news?
You shut your mouth when you're talking to me.
When is the last time you watched the news? Really?
I don't know.
I don't think anybody watches the news anymore.
We put on, like, the CBC. Is that what it is? From the BBC the other day.
Well,
It was ridiculous.
so it's just like, I don't even know. Maybe people watch that. Maybe I just don't know.
I don't know.
I don't
That's a
know.
good question to the wide
So-
world web.
I know, right? So back to what I was saying. Technology is a wonderful servant too. It's not just all negative. It can be a wonderful servant if we use it properly. So, and technology is just a tool. That's from Melinda Gates.
Okay.
Technology is just a tool, right?
Oh, that's the wife?
Yes.
That's how ignorant I am.
It's all good. So remember that technology serves you, not the opposite.
Okay.
And for your life to be smoother and easier, it's all about your mental approach to technology, so that it's not more. Because sometimes technology is creating a more complex, confused, and stressed life for us.
You
know what I
should
mean?
say that again. That was really good.
Sometimes technology is creating a more complex, confused, and stressed life for us. You know what I mean? And I've said a million times, like, when shit really hits the fan, that I'm going to go work at a fruit stand down in Belize. I mean, I look at those guys with envy. You ever see those guys just working at the fruit stand? I mean, what a great job. They have no stress in their life at all. You know what I mean? That Jose song by Kenny Chesney?
Oh, yeah. Okay, like that. Not the guys who have to stand on the corner.
No.
And yeah, that seems not so good.
I know. So
I said a Walmart greeter back in the day. I always thought that would be a fun job.
you'd be really good at that.
Or maybe the Liberty tax person.
I don't see you doing that.
No.
Really? You think about
She
it?
would be great.
You could just
at that.
dance
She would be
all
great.
day.
You
Or
could
the
dance all day.
Then be costume.
Yeah, that'd be good. So, even when you're looking at your computer, the question is, when I'm looking at my computer, we need to take that back to what we were talking about when I'm looking at my desk and eating frogs and doing all that sort of stuff, which is, what are the highest value things I can be doing on this computer right now
I love
to help
that.
me accomplish my goals? Instead of like wandering around your email, nobody sent me, what's in my deleted photo? Did I delete anything that was important? Let me go check my junk mail and blah, 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 blah. Oh, look, Sue Wade sent me something 4 days ago and somehow she ended up on my. But it's just, the big question is, when you're looking at your computer, when you're looking at technology, what's important here and what things will help me accomplish my life? Accomplish the things I want to accomplish in my life. And so we have to take that approach to our computer screens as well.
Yes.
What do you think?
I was just thinking, I know so many, and you said it a couple of minutes ago, but so many of us are relying upon social media for our marketing. So I think it's key what you said before. You have to really monitor yourself on that. You're not, set aside the time,
Right.
maybe, instead of all the time, and set it aside. We use it to escape, for sure.
Oh, for sure.
So I think that was good that you said that.
For sure. I see Janie says she wants to be a coffee barista. I want to work at a fruit
Oh,
stand. Amber wants to own a restaurant bar on the beach in the Caribbean. There's some good stuff here.
I don't know. You don't want to be a barista at Starbucks. That is some intense business.
I know, but just think about, like, you get to go home.
Yeah, leave it.
You just know.
Oh, but
Probably make friends
I know
there.
these personalities. All of these people would take it home, be like, "Oh, I messed up that coffee. I messed up that person's coffee. I can't believe I did sugar-free instead of blah blah blah."
Hey, I have to let you guys know one secret about Starbucks that I found out.
Okay.
Like I started buddying up when I used to go a lot to Starbucks with the girl that was working at the window, and so we were shooting the crap one day, and there was somebody that was really rude. I could hear them yelling, and I said, "Hey, what do you guys do to people that are rude? You know, like that?" And they said, "You want to know what we really do to them, to their coffees?" And I was like, "Oh God, this is gonna be gnarly." And she said, "We always give them decaf and never tell them." So that's how the Starbucks people get back at the people that are a pain in the ass. They give them decafs. Isn't that great?
Because it's not harmful. It's not a gluten.
I'm
It's
like,
not
go
a
get 'em.
soger.
God, I just feel terrible today. Well, it's because you were an asshole.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Yeah. They didn't need the caffeine anyway.
Right.
Oh, wow.
So, Sonia, like we were talking about, you have to clear your digital workspace just like you would your physical desk.
I love it.
Close all the programs that are not needed at that time, and block websites that distract you. I mean, that's what it suggests, for pop-ups.
So, are you going to take this advice, sir?
I should.
That was cute.
That's a good question. I do think that we need to focus on our priorities. And we do get sucked down rabbit holes. When Adam says he needs hey, we need a new audio pack for the studio. I'm like, great, there goes 3 hours. Let me go look. And we all do that. Don't act like you don't, because there's some other frog that you're trying to avoid.
Yeah.
So just trying to focus on the relevant things. Here's a big one.
Okay.
Going on your phone or your computer and disabling notifications from those things that are not important. How many things pop up on your screen, to say there's a high wind alert in San Bernardino today.
Oh, gotcha.
Or all these different things that distract the hell out of us, whether it's, there's just a million different things that we get hit with that really aren't important.
Yeah.
But when you're working on a project and then you look down at your phone and you see there's rain's supposed to begin at 1:20 today. Well, look at this, everybody. I'm going to walk around and tell everybody this, and next thing you know, you've lost another hour of your life, because it says when you do get distracted by a notification or an email, it generally takes 17 minutes from that distraction to get back to the project you were working on.
Oh.
So Amber just chimed in that she turned off her Instagram notifications. And Amber, why don't you chime in? Unmute yourself. Tell us how you feel about yourself now.
So, hold on one sec. Cambria, turn down the TV, please. Sorry. Parental multitasking here. I turned off my Instagram notifications. I was following all these different accounts, whether it was realtors or fashion or whatever it was. And I turned off all these notifications because I thought that I had to know that they were going live and what they were talking about and what posts they posted today and how it might have been important in my life. And so I've completely turned that off. And I'm guilty of getting stuck trying to figure out marketing for myself by looking at other realtors' accounts and seeing what they're doing that's successful. And then I get stuck in a comparison trap / make a decision mode. And the next thing I know, it's 3 hours later, I'm like, I haven't even done the post that I wanted to do today. I've just wasted 3 hours trying to market myself, and I haven't marketed myself at all.
Well, two things though, Amber. I mean, you've got a modeling and fashion background, so you have to let that go, right, and move on to the next thing. And the second thing is what we all know, which is perfection is the enemy of progress.
Yes.
I mean,
just post it.
I mean, every time that we want to make the perfect video, or we want to make the perfect flyer, or we want to do whatever we want to do, it stops everyone on this call trying to be perfect from getting things done. And perfection is the enemy of progress. I really, really believe that. And I'm guilty too.
Yes.
Even when we're doing a video, I mean, Adam and I, we've spent a day on a video before when he's like, let's just get it out. You know what I mean?
And then it never gets aired.
And then it never gets out.
Yeah.
It never gets out. And I just saw Trevor's on here. What's up,
Thank
Trevor?
you, Amber.
So yeah, thank you for sharing that. Disabling notifications is a big one. Here's the next one, and I think this is big. Take control of your time. Calendars.
Yeah.
And I want to know, it's basically calendars are wonderful servants and can be terrible masters. They can be one or the other. And I would say the most effective I ever was when I was really living by my calendar and making my appointments and scheduling out my days and doing all those sorts of things. And then I kind of lost my way with that. But how many of you guys are living on your calendars? I'm just curious. Shake your head if you actually live on your calendar. I see Elise is, Amber is, there's a few. And that's the best way to time block and to set aside time to do just this or just that or whatever, you know. So the calendars, and I think that's one thing I definitely want to do, because it really does force you to time block. You know, and I know I'm talking to Adam right now. I mean, we're going to be shooting video after video, which I need to tell you. We're going to hit everybody, you know, creating promo pieces for everybody, hopefully get the entire top 100 and anybody else that wants to do it.
So excited for
scheduling
that.
all that out will be an efficient and effective use of time. You know, that'll get us back into it. So scheduling.
Can I chime in on that real quick, Chuck?
What's that?
Can I chime in on that real
Please
quick?
do.
Because I just using a calendar. I set alarms on my phone, and I'm an Apple user. So on my phone, you can change the description of your alarm to actually say something. So I used it a long time ago when I was trying to drink more water, and it would say, drink more water, you know, every hour on the hour. So I've changed it to where my alarm on my phone, because I'll look at my calendar, but I'll forget, and the alert comes up and I forget. But then the alarm going off on my phone, I'll say like, 10 minutes to go social media, Google, goggles or whatever it is. And I put it in there on the alarm, and that forces me a little bit more. I guess maybe it's more annoying to me. So it makes me do it.
Right. And I like that. And you know what, Sonia, I'm going to ask you a question. I mean, in your coaching and all that sort of stuff, I mean, how do you deal with trying to get people to complete their tasks and to stay on task, you know, in these lives that we live in? You know, I mean, what kind of advice do you have for people?
Well, it all goes back to why you're doing it. You know, you can say that you're going to do something, but there's a reason that's blocking you from doing it. And that's where I go in and try and figure out what is blocking you from completing the task that you said you want to do. And I hold you accountable to what you're planning on accomplishing.
You know, one thing about coaching, Sonia, and I probably need to get back to this, you know, but like half the time I'm getting into like mental things that aren't to do with business, but you know, getting back to the accountability portions, Sonia, of, you know, when I used to send you my to-do lists, and then I'd prioritize them, and then she'd make me text them to her, and then she'd make me text her when I was doing them and when I was completing them.
Yeah.
That was an extremely effective use of time. I need to get back to that with you, Sonia. You know what I mean? Because sometimes
You got it.
we can go down so many different rabbit holes, but by forcing yourself and having that accountability, sometimes that can make a big difference. And also, like the real executive people, like when we try to book them for the Fired Up Fridays or whatever, you call and their assistants or whatever go right into their calendar, and they say, okay, well, I have a sliver here from 2:15 to 2:45 next Thursday, you know, and then that person is on that call at that time.
Yeah.
You know, so that's the high level efficient people that, you know, they live by the slivers that are in their calendars. And we probably should do better at that.
Yeah.
Are you pretty good at that? Do you use Outlook in your calendar?
And I am old school. I have to visually see it. We do have our calendar for work, but no, I'm a very old. I need it. I have to visually be able to look at it.
Whatever works.
And then my alarms, though, like I do it. Oh, that could have been embarrassing. Like there's tons of text messages. I'm like Amber, though. I put like at 10:10, remember to call so-and-so's person, because otherwise your brain is just so overwhelmed and you just can't keep it all in there.
I know. So that's going to be my goal, Sonia.
Jenny?
Go ahead.
All right, I'm good. What I'm finding is a lot of people are going back to the old-fashioned way of doing a day timer. The phones lose times. They put down the wrong time or the wrong date, and we were finding so many people weren't showing up for appointments. So it's not uncommon now for me to see people using, in the coaching anyway, more of the old-fashioned day timers.
I love it.
So you can see what your week looks like.
Yes, so you can easily visually see, and your whole month. So I got my month, I have my day, I have my week, and that really helps it flow nicely.
Well, even with our company calendars, Sonia, you know, as you know, like we have exactly what days we're shooting the Mondays, exactly what days the sales meetings are, exactly what days the Wednesday trainings are, and we have to print those because you can't really get a snapshot of what your month or week or year is going to look like from right here. You have to go in and you look around and you see it, as opposed to just having this big ass calendar that's this big posted in your cube that says, send out your lotto ticket cards here, send out your Easter, you know, like it's just,
Print it out at the office.
It is more powerful to do that
on your
way.
desk.
Yeah, I mean, but again, everybody's going to be different. Like, you know, the Gen Xers, like Adam's like, I don't have pens. I don't use those, boomer. You know, that's what he loves to say to me, but whatever. You know, I mean, so that's just what works. And you know what? He's late to everything. So I'm just kidding. Anyways, all right. So but that's just something to think about. Task management software. I know there's a lot of people that are very interested in task management software, and
Such
that's
as like what?
Where you actually you don't just create a to-do list, but you put in the times that you're going to be doing them and the things that have to get accomplished, and it's completely reminding you all the time that this needs to be done, this needs to be done, this needs to be done, and then as you fulfill that item, it completes. Or like let's say something like call that recruit, or something that I needed to do, and I can just drag that over to you. And that drops into your file so that so you can delegate things out to your TCs.
I was just going to say, I feel like this is going to be more work for me if he gets this. That's what I'm sensing.
But it's, you can delegate things out to your TCs.
I
You
see.
can delegate
That's cool.
things out to escrow.
Easily. See, like this listing needs to be prepared.
Yeah, that's what more of a task manager is, and a lot of people like Lance Martin, and a lot of people are really, really good at that. And they use that to manage their lives, and it is an efficient.
Like, what's the name?
There's a million of them.
Oh.
There's a million of them. Actually, it wouldn't be a bad idea to have Lance talk about it sometime because they are pretty cool. But, I don't know how many people would actually use it. Some of people could really use it. I mean, like some of our studs that we know are struggling because they can't keep up. That wouldn't be the worst thing in the world either. So, so the bottom line, we have to take control of our emotions when using technology.
Ouch.
And many people are failing to make it their servant. And a lot of them are failing to make it their servant because they're afraid to learn new skills too. So like the task manager thing we're talking about. And there are a lot of people, even in this company, like I can't stress this enough of how important it is to know Moxie and how important it is to know Prospect Square. But people don't take the time to learn some of these tools that can change your life because they're afraid of them, or they think they don't have time, or they don't make it a priority. So you do have to choose what things are the priority items for you in the technology world. And that will definitely help you. But for the people that are just, I don't want to learn that, I don't want to learn that, I don't want to learn that, I think that's kind of a big deal. I mean, but when you've got somebody like Michael, you should learn it. And this was a big one. Mastering technology. Okay, and we can just use real estate, for example, whether it's the MLS, whether it's SkySlope, whether it's Instagram, whether it's Facebook. Mastering technology now in this world is as important as reading, writing, and arithmetic.
Do
you agree?
Yes.
Do you guys agree?
As sad as that is.
It is, in some cases, it's probably, it's just as important. Reading, writing, and arithmetic and technology. I mean, it really is everything. I mean, there's a reason they're teaching PowerPoint in second grade now.
I know.
There's a reason that you go and you take classes on computer hardware in high school now. Like it's just the way that it is. And the people that are fighting, learning Moxie or fighting, what's this new program that's out here, Club something, whatever. Like I'm not gonna do that. That sounds lame. And then next thing you know, you're behind.
That's true.
You know what I mean? So it's just a matter of embracing it and realizing that it's that important.
I'd say it's more important than arithmetic and all that. Personally. Remember when your teacher used to tell you it's not like you're going to carry a calculator around with you all the time? Okay, boomer. No.
Wait. Yeah, that's actually pretty funny, Adam.
Yeah. And they don't learn cursive anymore. Like I get so many people coming in and they have to sign their name, and they don't sign their name anymore.
Yeah, my youngest son, I don't think he ever learned cursive. It was they just weren't using it. You know what I mean? Which is kind of cool because like some of the people that send me letters and stuff, I can't even read them, so it's fine. You know what I mean? Sloppy cursive. Well.
Yeah.
So anyways, when technology is used properly, it's a source of positive. It's motivating to your emotions and it decreases productivity when it's used right. But the bottom line is that we have to stop being enslaved by technology and realize that we have to set aside time and the proper efforts, like Amber said, for our social media and make it work for us instead and make sure that we're being efficient and effective with those technology tools. Because it's just up to this point, we've just been talking about it with life and clearing our desk and writing these cards and having this. But I really do think we get lost in the woods. I'll bet a lot of you guys, even you, Janie, you probably get lost in the woods on technology once in a while as well, and even powerhouses, like Kim England, next thing you know, it's happening, for Sarah, for whatever. And we just need to try to do what we can to make sure that we're asking the same questions. Is this going to help me accomplish my life goals? If not, why am I doing it? Every single time. So anyway, so we're moving ahead pretty good. I wanted to just talk about the next thing, which is focusing your attention.
What? I wasn't paying attention.
I know, it's because you focus. Come on, ADD girl. It's just kidding. Where your attention goes, your life follows. And we kind of know that. And focused attention is the key to high performance. Would you agree? Like if we really looked at something and said, I'm going to tackle this, and we've always said this before, if anybody on this call wanted to become an expert in hard drives, they could do it. Do you agree?
Yes.
Yeah, how do hard drives work? I want to know everything about them. How are they made? How are they manufactured? You can become an expert. So
Sure, if that's
it's
what
whatever
you
you
want.
focus on, you can become an expert in. But unfortunately, and he called this the attraction of distraction.
Okay.
The attraction of distraction. We are so attracted to things that can distract us from the things that we want to do. The
Mm-hmm.
attraction of distraction, whether it's electronic, a wandering mind, a lack of focus, whatever it is, and that's what creates failure. And he said the word failure, but I don't think it creates failure. It creates mediocrity for all of us.
Ooh.
Don't you agree?
That's good.
It's a little bit of mediocrity, and I'm guilty. I think we're all guilty of going down and, for some of my friends out there, they call it rabbit holes.
Yeah.
You jump on your computer and you wander down a rabbit hole and you never come out. Next thing you know,
Yeah.
it's noon.
Yeah.
And I've been down a
what'd
rabbit
you
hole
do?
for 2 hours.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, that being the case, we just have to avoid the attraction of distraction. Emails, telephone calls, texts, instant messages, they can have a negative effect on your brain when they're coming in all day long. Like I actually did. I went out and I played golf on Friday afternoon, but I left at like 2:30, and it's still part of the business day. And I would say I had 100 notifications go off on my phone, and it was the worst round ever because there was just so many things coming in. I couldn't even really enjoy
Right,
myself. I knew better than to go out on during the day.
Yeah.
But it really is, and I kind of equate golf with that. Your game falls apart because you can't focus.
Yeah.
And I think that's the rest of your life.
Yeah.
It's just equates to golf, but it's the same thing. And they say that things like text messages, getting a text real quick, or an email real quick or whatever that is, it shortens our attention span. And it just makes it really difficult for us to focus on those big, hard things. So,
So it's a suggestion.
yes, it's a suggestion. Right.
So what is the suggestion?
Oh, the suggestion is to turn off all your notifications.
Okay.
And go on your computer and get rid of everything you don't need. And I don't know about you, but and they're fun, but I have so many apps on my computer. Like there's one right here that I could put you in, a big giant fro. I could put you in short black hair. I can age you. I can make you look like you're 100 years old.
Oh, you did do that once.
I know, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
it was
you
fun.
did do that.
But app after app after app after app, and really all these are big giant distractions. You know what I mean? And I know that there are hobbies too, but and
yeah, if it's a hobby, that's cool. Just not during your work day. Because I think it was Brent the other day, one of our lenders said, yeah, if you think of this as a 9 to 5 and get done, you will be amazing. But if we're on our apps making Jenny look like she's old, that's not going to happen.
That is a fun one, though. But basically the bottom line is it shortens our attention span and makes it difficult to complete large tasks. So, and again, like I mentioned, those morning messages create kind of a tiny shot of dopamine. It's a buzz. They call it a buzz.
I believe it.
And it's kind of
Makes
like,
sense.
and when you get those, if somebody pings you, I'll bet you right now, if somebody messaged you on Instagram right now, you would have a hard time not checking it. And we're in the middle of a show. Would you agree?
That's why it's silent and my phone is face down. And you got mad at me the other day. You're like, I texted you. I'm like, I'm supposed to be in the moment. I'm supposed to be paying attention.
I got mad at you. Well, and we were in here, yeah. Yeah, I think I was complaining about Adam or something.
Yeah, and I was like, I don't know. But yeah, you're right. If I looked, I would have a major anxiety because it is FOMO. It's not because I'm worried somebody wants to help me. No, it's probably, if it's on Instagram, probably it's silliness. It's like, what's Kim Kardashian doing?
Exactly. Adam just texted me, am I distracting you? And that's actually really funny. And this is a perfect example of what we're talking about.
Yeah, that should not be on your iPad when we are in the show.
But but it should turn off the notifications. However, some people are texting me saying, hey, your mic dropped or this or that. So, but that's
why we have them.
Somebody would tell you, right? That's
somebody will tell you.
So anyways, and then there's the multitasking illusion. Which is the next thing, which is we believe we can be working on multiple things at once. I can be checking my text, checking an email on my computer, pulling up some properties, writing this at, doing that, and people think they can get things done by going back and forth between their emails, texts, and their important projects because they think, and busy people, in a sense, balance out a little bit better than others. But the distraction itself of all those things hitting at once can paralyze you.
I agree. We all think we're really good at it, but just think how amazing we would be if we didn't.
I know.
Do that.
I almost want that to be our task. I want us all to see if there's any chance that we can just focus on one thing at a time. But when you get those texts, you want to go answer it. Or a client calls, you get up and you leave, and everything you're doing just gets dropped. So it's kind of hard to deal with. But the multitasking illusion is very real. So that being the case, Sonia, anything you want to add to this topic?
Well, I was just laughing because I love to multitask. I do it all the time. And Richard is the engineer in the family, and he does not multitask. He does one thing at a time, he completes it, and it's over. And then I come in and I'm throwing his life totally upside down because I'm wanting him to do this and I want to go here and I want to do that. And he's like, just stay focused, and
Right.
it just doesn't work for me.
I understand.
I'm all
I
over
agree.
the place.
I agree. Same way, Sonia. And my husband's just like your husband. We're
Yeah.
exactly the same.
Yeah.
Now, Tom Wysocki, I'm going to ask you real quick, if you mind unmuting. So like, how do you feel about like the optimistic piece? Do you have anything that you want to add in terms of like technology being a slave for your a servant for you, or is it your master? Like, what kind of feedback you got from today? Love to hear from you, man. You manage a big office. What you got going on?
Oh man, it is definitely a time waster. There's no doubt. There's got to be a happy medium. Chuck, if you remember, you used to talk about you'd go and see people on Facebook. You're like, oh, they're just killing time. Then we advocated for Facebook, but now I think we've got to dial it back a little bit because it's just a time suck.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, no, I would agree. But the scary part is you get people like Scott Huffman that next thing you know, he's going on Facebook, he sees somebody painting a house, he gets a $750,000 sale within 10 days. So it's such a balance, man.
If you use it for that intended purpose, but I think a lot of people use it to avoid doing other work, and that way they can say they are working their real estate business, but that is actually not the intent of it.
Right.
Ouch.
Right. True story.
Ooh,
True story.
He's throwing that gauntlet down.
I know. Does anybody else have anything to add before I got a couple summary points? But anybody else have anything they'd like to throw out there? Anybody? All right. So here we go. Here's the big advice. You ready, Jenny?
Oh, yes.
This is the summary of today. I'm going to start doing a summary.
I love summaries.
Number one, and I don't know if this is even humanly possible, and I don't think any of us can do it, but we shouldn't be, the last thing we do before we go to bed should not be checking our phone, and it should not be the first thing we do when we wake up. I don't know that we can even deal with that. I don't even know that I'm capable of not doing those things. I mean, what do you think? Like, out there, I mean, honestly, like, is there any way that you could wake up, I mean, Catherine, I see you're on there, and it's your birthday. I mean, is there any way that you could wake up and not, first thing in the morning, take a look at your phone? No. I mean... Isn't that interesting?
Let's try the nighttime one, okay?
I think that's not the worst start.
Let's try the nighttime one. You can't fix a deal at 8 p.m. anyway.
Right.
You really can't.
Right.
So
maybe we could
set a time
put
for
that
yourself.
Away.
Put it away. Text everyone good night. You love them, and then proceed on. And then
here was his suggestion for number two. Number two, honestly, since I began real estate as an agent, I have to learn to pay attention to my phone. Oh, for sure. And if you don't answer your phone, I have to be honest with you. Like, I can't stand that.
Okay, and Elizabeth is correct, because when we first started talking, she wouldn't respond to me, and I would go insane. So Good job, girl, knowing what you need to do.
Right. So here's number two for us crackheads that'll never be able to do it.
Yeah.
If you have to check them, get in and get out.
Okay.
That's what it said to do. Like, get your phone, take care of the things you got to do, put it back down.
Okay.
Don't get sucked into, wonder if anybody, it's 7 o'clock, somebody had to make some posts today. Oh, look, somebody went for a jog at 5:30. I mean, I've seen that.
True.
Oh, look, sunrise, that's so cool. Next thing you know, you're in, right? So get in,
awesome.
Get out.
Okay, I like it. In and out.
Number three, and I know you didn't like this one.
Oh, God.
But not the worst idea in the world, check your email only a couple times a day at a set time.
You're the general manager.
No, you do.
If you feel that this is going to be great.
Well, for me, because I get so many emails, I would love to do that. Just so people don't think I'm being rude. Because a lot of times when I don't respond to my emails, they're like, you never responded to that email I sent you 3 days ago. It's because I didn't read it, because I hate it. It's email. Why don't you text me? But I don't know. Maybe I need to time block a little bit better too, to say these are the times that I'm going to check it.
You're probably right. You're probably right.
I mean, it could be good.
You didn't get where you are from being wrong, so I'll shut my mouth.
Well, but what do I know? I mean, this Brian Tracy. He's smart. We're not.
Yeah, that's true. He is.
So finally, in summary, don't let technology stop you from doing the things that you want to do. Remember that you can work with your computer as well without interruption if you change your notifications. If you delete back even off the front screen the things that, even if you put Facebook on the second screen of your phone or Instagram on the second screen of your phone, I wonder if that would help.
Oh, mine are. Like, I got to do some heavy duty scrolling to
So
it doesn't help.
I know, right? And so, try to work nonstop without interruption on our projects. That's really, really hard.
I think that's huge.
And know that many of the things that you're receiving in your technology life are distractions.
Yeah.
And only 4% of the things that you actually receive realistically are going to help you attain what you want to attain. Probably only 4%. I would agree with that. I think that's right. Probably only 4% of the things you see.
You know what I just thought of, though?
What?
Okay, I have to, because we always tell people if somebody falls on your heart, you need to text them, you need to
Correct.
call. This doesn't count as part of that. We're just talking about the BS, the clutter stuff.
Correct.
We're not talking about true emotional things that send greatness into the world.
Yeah, and
or positive business into the world.
right. And what Jenny's saying is when somebody jumps in your head, there's a reason.
Yeah.
Reach out, call them, text
Yeah.
them. Yeah, and I
This
agree with
doesn't
that.
count for that,
A little different,
so.
yeah. So basically, that's it for today.
It was good
I mean,
today.
it's-
Thanks for
it's
making it exciting. 'Cause I was
Literally
tired.
just cleaning out our lives, technology, our monitors, our screens, our phones, and just being aware. Even being aware, hopefully that helps everybody out. And me too.
Even just being aware.
Being aware. So anyways, that's really it, guys. It's 10 o'clock. And
That was fast.
Yeah, 10 o'clock. And hopefully you guys got something out of it. Yes, Adam?
I'd like to, first, before we go, I want to thank everyone who has been sharing this to their timelines. You have been helping us a lot. If you got anything out of this today, pay it forward, spread the word, share it to your timeline. It helps keep me and Michael employed, and it helps our show grow, and it spreads this great knowledge we're getting to the rest of the world. So
Thanks,
thank you
Adam.
to those who have been sharing, and please continue to do so.
Thank you all. Sounds great. Have a great week. Go get it. All right. Talk to you soon.
Bye. Have a great day.
Bye-bye.